Okay, yes, I think we're live.
Woohoo!
Okay, there we go.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live. I'm Gabby,
And I'm Linda,
and this is Brain Education TV.
in case you lost your way somewhere.
So, welcome today. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. This live is meant to be as interactive as possible. We want to connect with our audience. So, let's try to go back and forth on this topic that we have today. And we'd love to hear what any of you have to say, whether you agree, disagree, like, or dislike anything. We want to connect with you so you can enrich the conversation here. So as we get started, please, if you're here, type hello or hi in the chat and type where you're from. We'd love to know where you're from.
And by the way, we added a feature to our live streams. It's called Super Chat. You can send us some love by donating a small amount to our channel that help fund our videos, especially if you found our videos to be very helpful and you enjoy and you want to show some support. Then there's a little button underneath the chat function. There's a rectangular button with a $sign. So if you click that, you can show some support for the channel. Your donations help us reach more people so that we can help a wider audience deal with mental health. Mental health is a big issue these days, especially during these times. And so for anyone who donates over $25 in the super chat, we will schedule a separate 15-minute one-on-one session with you on something more specific. So if there's something in mind, some specific question you wanted to ask us after following our videos or our channel, then we will connect with you 15 minutes if you donate in the super chat. So a little incentive for you to show some support for our channel.
Yes, so if you're in here, please chat. We want to know who's in here, who's watching. And so let's get started. Our live today is going to be an open discussion about how we can save the earth. And so our first question is, when someone says save the earth, what does that mean to you? What does saving the earth mean to you, to the audience? So we'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, everyone has a different interpretation or definition of what encompasses saving the earth. So we're curious to hear your thoughts first before we dive into our discussion and dive into our perspective.
Save it from what?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's another thing we could discuss about. Yeah, so if we have some people who are just joining us right now, we're asking the audience, you guys, to type in the chat, what does saving the earth mean to you? Before we discuss from Gabby and I's perspective, we want to hear your thoughts about what does saving the earth mean to you? I love Gaz's point though.
Yeah, right.
We'll discuss that, Gaz, so don't go away. So while everyone else types, I guess I could just dive into what Gaz is saying. So first, save it from what? Okay, that's a very good point. So when typically talk about saving the earth, a lot of people talk about climate damage, uh, trash, waste, animal abuse, deforestation, pollution of our oceans, all these different things that kind of like is destroying the planet, things that are man-made that are destroying the planet. So if you guys are into documentaries, there's a lot of documentaries out there about the food chain system. So like how corrupt and how destructive the farming techniques are, and growing cattle, and how much methane gas they produce in the air, and how that destroys our ozone layer, and how that brings in harmful sun rays, and it causes global warming, and then it makes the coral reefs get bleached, and then because the coral is bleached, we have plankton that die, and then because the plankton is dead, the fish are dying. There's a whole bunch of stories that say that the earth is being destroyed, and it's human beings that are destroying it. There's a lot of information out there that say that. So I see some people who are saying there's no climate change. Okay, if that's your perspective, then I respect that totally. There are people who don't believe in climate change, but then there are also people who do believe in climate change. So we want to kind of address both sides of the spectrum, that there exist people who don't believe in it. That's perfectly okay. And there are people who believe in it, and that's perfectly okay too. I think that's the beauty of this world. There's people who believe this side, and there's people who believe that side, but they're both right. So we're going to talk about the discussion this way. So, as I mentioned, when we talk about saving the earth, most people think about saving the planet, nature, animals, weather, environment, less plastic waste, save the turtles kind of thing, right? But when we talk about saving the planet, since most people talk about saving the physical planet, we don't really think about one very important aspect of what it means to save the earth. And that one important aspect will actually be the basis of our conversation today. That one important aspect, component of saving the earth, is saving the people who inhabit the earth. So have you thought about that? Saving people who live on earth.
Yeah,
Saving the
that's
people.
something that people usually think of.
Right, right. It's not something we usually think about, and that's because we all have people trauma. We have we all have negative memories, hurtful, painful experiences that were caused by other people, maybe even people who you really trusted and loved. And there are also a lot of negative information out there about how humanity is damaging the earth. So let's just get that out there. It's true. It's true that it's human beings, us, who are trashing the planet. It's true. All right, let's just put that on the table, and let's not hide that fact. It's human beings that are trashing the planet. And the animals, the plants, the waters, the forests, they're all suffering because we exist. And there are a lot of people who believe that, if humans disappear, then the earth will naturally recharge and refresh and heal herself, which is absolutely true because nature works in harmony and balance. It's human beings that go in and break that balance. However, a big however, however, we also have to mention that we cause the problem. Yes, human beings cause the problem, but we are also the ones who can fix this problem. So that's where we will focus for today's live. So we will focus this live on people being the solution to save the Earth's problem. Yes, we cause the problem, but yes, we are also the solution. So all of the sacred teachings in our current modern day culture, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, all these different religions and spiritual practices, they teach that you should love people first. Jesus, Muhammad, all the Buddha, all these great prophets and sages, they taught that you should love people first. But I want to ask you, in all honesty, do you love people? Why or why not? Can you type in the chat? If I think about my life, do I honestly love people? Why or why not?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, we don't think about that.
Yeah. So as people are typing, I'll read some of the comments we got in already. So 444 Lamb says we need to change our thinking and respect Mother Earth. Definitely. Yes. Isa says it means preserving the world for the next generations. Yes, it all is like a, effect from our lives affects the next lives. So it's like a continuation of every little thing we do will of course affect the people left on earth after we're gone. And we need to respect Mother Earth, Curdy says, and Gaz says save yourself first. That's a very good point. Yes, we'll get into that.
Gaz has all the good points today.
I know. So now let's look at this in a bigger context. How Linda was saying, do you love people? So what do you think? Do you love people? And do you trust people? If you don't trust people and you don't want to be involved with other people, and there's 7.5 billion people who feel this way, then we're going to have 7.5 billion people who don't really care about the well-being of others because they just care about themselves, and they don't care that, just themselves, their close few, their family, but not really humanity. So when we have people who constantly operate in this place of not caring about others and think as long as I'm happy and only the people I like are happy, then who cares, how all these random other people are living. It's that mindset that has brought us to the problems we have now. We have all these policies and systems in place that only protect a small percentage of people, and those people in power care about those policies and systems.
Yeah, so speaking of the systems that Gabby is mentioning, and by the way, if you guys have any opinions or thoughts, please feel free to chat. We want to hear as many opinions, whether you agree or completely disagree. We respect all opinions, so we just want to talk about it and know where you stand on these things. So let me just continue. So, speaking of the systems that Gabby just talked about, there are many organizations and nonprofits that do work, wonderful work to save our planet. However, our point today is that we oftentimes forget that human beings are also part of this planet, and that actually us human beings, we're a part of nature. When we think about nature, we think about just trees and water and animals, but we are also part of nature. Why? Because we were made naturally. Anything made naturally is part of nature. So we forget that we're part of the planet. We forget we're part of this ecosystem that many organizations work so hard to protect. However, we're not very nice to each other.
Not really.
No. There are many people who care more about their pet dog than their human being.
Definitely. Yes.
Yes. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with loving your pets. I love pets too. I love dogs. I love cats. I love pets too. There's nothing wrong with loving your pet. However, if you ask me personally, and this is just my personal opinion, this is not the opinion of Brain Education. This is not the opinion of anyone else. This is just my personal opinion. If you ask me personally, even though I also have trauma from human beings, I suffer from human beings just like you guys, betrayed, lied to, judged, all those things, all those hurtful things by human beings. However, when it comes down to it, if I were in a situation where I had to choose between saving a dying dog or saving a dying human, even though human beings can piss me off and annoy me, I will always 100% over and over and over and over again, without a doubt, choose saving a dying human. Because human beings have the potential for doing something greater than what we know, which is saving souls.
Mhm.
So let me explain that a little bit more, because you're probably like, saving souls? What does that mean? Unless you're already into spirituality and you know exactly what saving a soul means. So let me explain that a little bit more. In spiritual practice, so Christianity, Buddhism, again, those spiritual practices, and in brain education, we say that the reason why human beings are alive, we wonder a lot of times about, why am I here? Why am I alive? We have these existential questions. What is the purpose of life, right? But in our practice, we explain that the reason why we are alive as humans is that through this suffering, through this hardship, through all of these many different like clashes in our lives and experiences, we are actually in the process of training ourselves to upgrade our consciousness and reach enlightenment through our suffering. Think about it. If life didn't throw punches at you, you wouldn't be able to be smoothed out. There's a
Mhm.
saying in Buddhism that I really love, that to make a smooth rock, you need to grind the rock over and over again,
Mhm.
which means to make a human being very compassionate, tolerant, and smooth, that person needs to suffer over and over and over again, because we have so many jagged edges to our personality and thoughts.
Right.
So maybe you guys are in the boat where, oh my God, she said enlightenment, spirituality, it's hoo-ha. I don't mess with that kind of spiritual hoo-ha things. But let me break down enlightenment into common speech. Enlightenment simply, no matter what you see in the movies of like people having halos and whoo, it's not like that. Enlightenment means your consciousness, your level of thinking, the place that you operate from in your brain every single day is bright. And it's very bright. It's so bright that just like moths get attracted to the light, this brightness that you radiate from your energy attracts people to come to you. And you are at a place where, because you are so bright, you are like a lighthouse that can guide people, guide souls back to where we all came from. Some people say source, some people say heaven. These are all same concepts, that after death, after we upgrade our spiritual essence, upgrade our consciousness through whatever worship or whatever practice we practice, through that we become brighter, and when we die, we return somewhere back to where we came from. Source, heaven, whatever you call it, it's the same idea. So, and until we can make our consciousness bright by learning our lessons through our experiences, then we cannot ascend up, because we're weighed down by our trauma, weighed down by our attachments and memories. So are you guys following me so far?
Yes.
If you have questions, please let me know in the chat. So, knowing this, knowing that the reason why human beings are alive is to ascend, to complete our souls, we say, to bring our souls back to where we came from through our suffering. That is why human beings are precious. Because only human beings, especially a human being who is awake, human being who is bright and radiating that light, only a human being can guide another human being towards soul's completion. So if you don't get anything out of this, please just keep that one sentence in mind. Only a human being can guide another human being towards soul's completion. And that is why human beings are precious. That is why human beings, we mess up, we make a lot of mistakes, we ruin everything. However, human beings are still the hope, because of the potential that we have to save souls towards completion.
Right, that was very well said. Mhm. So going off of that a bit more, yes, like Linda was saying, a dog or a pet, can give you joy or happiness or maybe even some kind of purpose in your life, but a pet can't really teach you or guide you towards your soul's completion, like Linda was talking about. So they might just make you feel good, feel comforted. You can grow as a human too. They can teach you how to love more, but only a human being has the ability to guide a soul towards their completion, which is enlightenment. So all the problems that we have on Earth that are related to the planet, such as climate change, if you believe in it or not, or farming techniques, overfishing, labor problems, waste, plastic, all of those, the root cause of that is that humans are unawake to this idea that we just said about enlightenment and about waking up other people and helping other people and saving other people. And when you save other people, you're saving the earth because they also will save other people. So human beings who have lower and darker consciousness levels, they're the ones that, create policies, they create businesses, they create systems that drive profit for themselves and only the people they care about. And so that really makes the problem in the human, not in the earth, but in the humans. So because we created those companies, policies, institutions, and if like a darker, lower consciousness person created those, they need to wake up their consciousness and become brighter so that they can make policies, companies, institutions to reverse the damage and actually help and create good and stop all these issues that the earth is facing. So all of this is to really reiterate the point that human beings are the problem, yes, but also human beings are 100% the solution. So if you want to save the earth, thinking only about the animals, the trees, the water, the elephants, all of that, it just really puts a band-aid on the problem. It doesn't fix the problem. So because as long as the human mind is corrupt and dark, the problem will just continue to grow and get worse. So it all starts with humans.
I really love the last part that Gabby just mentioned is that if we want to save the earth, thinking only about the animals and the trees and water is putting a band aid on the problem. Because as she said, it's human beings who are making laws and actions that dictate the future of these waters, the future of these trees, the future of these animals. So I think that's a really key point that she said, that as long as the human being's mind is corrupt, as long as they're operating from this like dark, selfish place, the problem will only continue. So thank you, Gabby, for sharing that point because that's like. So going off of that, this reminds me of a term, a word from East Asia, Korea, called hongik. Hongik is Hongik. I will type it in the chat. Hongik. So that is the word hongik. And hongik is this idea of benefiting all life, including myself. Benefiting all life, including myself, means acting, speaking, thinking, feeling, perceiving, smelling, hearing, tasting, touching in a way that benefits all life, including myself. So if you've noticed, I keep saying including myself, including myself. And that is because in Western culture, in this society that we grow up in, when we talk about someone benefiting life, someone doing good for the earth, someone contributing in a positive way. It usually means sacrificing my well being for the sake of others. If you look in movies, the hero of the movie is the hero that kills himself to save the girl, or the woman who like sacrifices her life for the love of her life, or something like this. Some kind of like, I'm gonna kill myself so that you can live because I am the hero. We are painted this image that someone who does good is someone who sacrifices my well-being for the sake of others. However, I'm sure in your own life you also have this experience. If you just keep sacrificing, just keep giving, 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 giving. Okay, I'll be the bigger person. Okay, I will love more. Okay, I'm upgrading my consciousness. So I'm going to just give, 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 sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Are you really going to feel happy? Let's be honest here. Are you really going to feel happy? It's not a sustainable way to help somebody or help a situation or help the earth. If you keep sacrificing yourself, sacrifice, give, 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 because one day you're going to burn out.
Right.
And one day you're going to really start building resentment. I'm sure you guys have experienced this in your life, and the perfect example of this are mothers. Moms who sacrifice for their husband, for their kids. They just give, 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 give to their family. And the mom one day goes, what about me? Do you guys care about me?
Right.
Haven't you heard your mom say that?
Yes, definitely.
My mom said that every darn day. We've all seen our moms blow up at our dads, being like, do you even care about me? Nobody in this house cares about me. Nobody in this house knows what I'm doing. Ah! And then some moms even start crying and bursting into tears and they break down.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just sacrifice without taking care of yourself, this is what happens. And it's not just your moms, it happens to everybody. It happens to you, it happens to me, every single person.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is where hongik is very important. Hongik comes from the idea that because we are the same and because we are all connected, especially in spiritual practice, they always teach about oneness, connection. But it's true, we are all connected. My actions affect Gabby's life, and Gabby's life, her actions affect her mom's life, and it's all connected like this, right? We're all connected in this invisible net. So, because we are all the same, and because we are all connected, all life, there's no separation between what's good for you and what's good for me. That separation itself is the reason why we are suffering, because what's good for me has nothing to do with what's good for you, so let me just take care of me and I don't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that mentality that caused the problems on this earth. However, when we really believe that we are one, there's no separation between what's good for me and good for you, which means that what is good for me has to be good for you, and what is bad for me also is bad for you. So when you operate from that perspective, it's about taking responsibility for how you act, how you think, how you perceive, and finding ways that not only make me happy, but also you happy at the same time. Mutual benefit. And this doesn't have to be something big, grandiose, one-time action. In the everyday little tiny things that I do every single day, thinking, how can I make even just this simple phone call good for me and good for this other person? Something so trivial like this. So finding ways to do that in your life is hongik.
Right. So I wanted to kind of share an example of how this could play out in your everyday life. So for example, if Linda and I are both hungry and there's only one piece of bread, if I sacrifice, I'm giving up that whole piece of bread to Linda. And then, I gave her the piece of bread and I'm hungry too, but I might feel a little bit resentful or, like she got to and I didn't. But the Hongik mindset is, okay, there's one piece of bread and both people are hungry, so let's share. She gets half of the piece, I get half of the piece. So now we both have something to fill our stomachs, and maybe we're not totally full, but we're taking care of each other. We're not giving everything and not sacrificing where we're like in suffering. So that's the difference between sacrifice and hongik. So anything in life that comes up, you can try to see in the eyes of hongik. It doesn't have to be grand gestures, like Linda said. It could just be in your everyday life. If it's something that's good for you and also good for me, that's hongik. So, if you open the door for someone who's having a hard time walking, you did something good for them, but you also feel good because you helped them. So that's an act of hongik. You did something that's benefiting the person receiving, and then you also feel good about it. So it's like this. It's a win-win situation in anything you do in life. The reason why the policies, institutions,
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
systems.
That's our coworker. She made a surprise entrance.
Yes. So the reasons why the policies, institutions, money systems that we have are not hongik is because they are not benefiting all life. They're only benefiting the 1% at the expense of everything else. They're benefiting the profit makers only, while sacrificing the well-being of the planet and everything on it. So humans, animals, plants, water, but most importantly, humanity. So can you imagine if these people in power, if they knew hongik, if they acted with hongik values, if their mindset, yes, they're the profit makers, they're the money makers, but if they acted with hongik values where it's benefiting everyone, not just themselves and a special few. That's the change we're trying to create, especially through brain education as taught by the founder, Ilchi Lee.
Yes, I love what Gabby just said. It's very, very important. This idea of hongik and how we can establish and apply this into our policies and our systems. I think in the future, we should have more people who know about this concept of hongik, and then those people become the leaders, become people in position of power, of influence to spread and make policies, make change, create a real society in which hongik is the number one priority. Because hongik is not just good for one race of people. It's not just good for one social class of people. It's not good for just one religion of people. It's good for every single person. And that's the only way that we can all make it here out alive. To change the people is how you can make the systems change too. So changing the people is how you make the systems change too. Maybe some of you in this live are frustrated by the system, frustrated by the policies, frustrated by the politicians. I think I saw someone in the chat who said, all the politicians need to go away.
You saw that.
Yeah, and you're not the only one. Many people think this way because they're all corrupt, because the system that runs these people are corrupt too. But our point really is that if you try to change the systems, it's going to feel hopeless. It's going to feel kind of like you're banging your head against the wall, right? So if you try to change the system without changing the people who run the systems, who are in the systems, it's not going to work. And you might say to me, Linda, that sounds nice, but it's not going to happen because I don't think people are going to change and people are hopeless. The more trauma you have from people, the more we feel this way. But I'm here to tell you that it is possible. And I'm not saying this in a cliche thing like, oh my God, save the world because it's so possible and it starts with you. I hate cliches, okay? Let me just get this out there. I hate cliches. And I don't listen to people who tell me things like this. But let me explain it in terms of logic and math. Because I like logic, I like reason, I like facts. Maybe you're like that too. One awakened person. One awakened person. Imagine one, okay? One awakened person, you. Let's imagine that one awakened person to be you. If you come in contact with people in your circle, let's say that you have 5 people in your circle. I'm sure every single person knows more than 5 people, but
Right.
let's just say that we're playing it really low and you only know 5 people in your whole life. So you come in contact with 5 people. And let's say you, that one person, because of the Hongik idea, because of what you're doing in your life to brighten your consciousness, that one person, you, brightens the lives of these 5 people. And you spread this idea of soul's completion, this idea of Hongik, this idea of waking up from this haze that we're put in society. So these 5 people are now awake because of you. So now let's say that these 5 people each reach another 5 people. So this person reaches 5 people, this person 5 people, this person 5, 5, 5, like this. And then those 5 reach another 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, like this. And it multiplies exponentially from one person. So from one person, do you know how the numbers grow as you expand? So I wrote this down somewhere. Hold on, let me get that paper real quick. I'm back. So that one person reaches 5. And then these 5 reach another 5, which makes 25. Those 5 reach another 5, which makes 125. And those 5 reach another 5, which makes 625. The 625 people each reach another 5, that makes 3,125. The 3,125 reach another 5, each, only 5 people each in their lives, that makes 15,625. 15,625 people each reach another 5, that makes 78,125. 78,125 each only reach another 5 people in their lives, that makes 390,625. Those 390,625 people reach another 5. So by this time, it only grew 9 times. That's it. Only from one person, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 9 times. After 9 times, do you know how many people were influenced by you, that one person? 1,953,125. And then now here's the kicker. One more. Those 1,900,000 people each reach another 5 people in their lives to talk about Hongik, to talk about, we got to do something to save the planet. We have to all wake up. We have to live for soul's completion, these kinds of things. Just one more time to make 10 times. To make 10 times from your one seed, growing 10 times. Do you know how many people will be changed and influenced from you, that one? 9,765,625.
Wow. Almost 10 million.
Right, that's almost 10 million people. And do you know where that started from? That all started from you, that one. So yes, it might seem cliche that I'm just one person, I'm a nobody, I don't really have much influence, I don't really have much power, I don't really have much money. I don't really have many talents. Sure, fine. You can think that way. But I bet you that no matter how untalented or unspecial you feel you are, you know more than 5 people in your life.
Yes, everybody.
Everybody.
Right.
Excuse me. I'm sure you know more than 5 people in your life. So I kind of played it low. So the bare minimum people that you have the power to influence is 10 million people, starting from you.
Mhm.
And this is just by simple math. I'm not saying this to make you feel good about yourself. I'm not saying this to paint a flowery picture of your life. You can save the world. You have the power. I believe in you. Yay!
Yeah, don't do that.
We're not about that life.
No, no, no.
This is simple math, simple exponential growth, simple principle of numbers. And then, can you imagine, in the 10 million, just by simple probability, if you reach 10 million people just by 10 repetitions of spreading the light, just by probability in the 10 million, don't you think that somewhere in there there will be a business owner, there will be a lawyer, a decision maker, a politician in the 10 million that you influence? Just by probability, the chances are pretty high.
Right.
And I bet even in your life, your direct life, without reaching out so far, I bet every single person actually knows a business owner right now. Could be a small business, big corporation, doesn't matter. I'm sure everybody knows a business owner in your life. Or you know somebody at least who has connections to a business owner or connections to a political person. And I'm absolutely sure, like I mentioned before, we all know more than 5 people. And we
Yeah.
all have the power to reach more than 5 people. So this is math, people. It's not cliche. I'm not saying this to make you feel good. I'm not saying this to paint a flowery picture of life. It's math. If you, that one individual, brighten 5 people's lives, those 5 people reach another 5. It has the potential to grow to 10 million and then even more beyond 10 million.
Mhm.
So my point is, if you want to save the world, don't try to change the world. Change yourself so that people who inhabit this world can change from you, just like I showed you through this math.
Mhm.
There's a quote by Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism in East Asia. He said, "Yesterday I was so foolish, I tried to change the world. But today I am wise, so I tried to change myself."
Wow, I love that. Mhm. Wow. I'm going to read some of the comments. As you were talking, a lot of comments came in. So uh, some people were saying hi, so hello. Simran and 444 Lamb says, I totally agree with you. So thank you. Yes, it's this exponential growth. And he also says we need to love each other and love Mother Earth. Yes, definitely. And it all starts with humans. That's the whole point. So actually saving the world is saving you. It's saving yourself. Saving yourself from your dark consciousness, your dark habits. If you do that, then and only then do you have the potential and hope of changing the world. And this is actually all in essence, the essence of brain education. All the exercises, the teachings, they're all meant to brighten your consciousness, brighten your energy, change your energy from dark to light so that your brightness can inspire others to become bright. And the people that you know, the people affected by you, the 5 people that you know can be affected by our brightness and exponentially grow and affect more and more people, like Linda was explaining. So, doesn't that feel a little bit more tangible on how you can save the earth by changing you, the individual, just from simple math? Because even if you donate to all the foundations, all the wildlife foundations to save the trees, save the whales, all of that, if humans don't change, then again, it's a temporary band-aid that just, masks the problem, but doesn't fix the actual problem.
I want to read this comment by Sibeliber, who said yes, but mostly falls on deaf ears. And I think you said that when I said you influence 5 people. So we also, just like how we can't change the world per se directly, you can't change others. That's fact too.
Mhm.
I'm sure we all have experiences of trying to change people, especially people we love. Change our family members, change our friends, change our lovers to be like this ideal person that I want you to be. We try to change others so much. But what I mean by influencing 5 people, what we mean in brain education and what we mean in this live is by if you become bright, if you work on upgrading your consciousness, just this natural energy that you exude out will be different. And if you exude out this different form of energy, people can feel it. People can feel, and then they'll be like, what is she doing? Something about her is different.
Right. They feel like comfort and like the biggest thing I think people feel is comfort, just to like share with you and be around you. That's what really changes. So, and they trust you, they just form this kind of comfort.
Yeah. And then from there, because they share, like Gabby said, they heal through you.
Mhm.
And from their healing of their trauma and all the things that they're carrying, they become lighter and then they become more open. When they become more open, then they become more receptive to things like this.
Mhm.
So don't try to change them by like sitting, okay, don't go to like 5 people after this live and sit them down and be like, okay, let me brighten your consciousness. That's not what that's not what we're doing, okay? The point is, you have to be an example through your own change. There's nothing more powerful and convincing for others than your own change. Actually, even for me, I started brain education because my mom did it first. My mom did it first, and she was very emotional. She was very like uh, I didn't have a very good relationship with her growing up, but she was doing something. I honestly, when I was a teenager, I didn't even care what she was doing. She was doing something, okay, but I didn't care. I didn't know. I didn't want to find out. She was doing something, and I can just see, huh? You know, she seems happier. Something about her. I don't know what she's doing. She's different. She feels different.
Mhm.
So that's when I asked her, "What the heck are you doing, mom?" What are you doing these days? Something about you is different. You're smiling more, you're less emotional, something's different. And then that's when, because I saw the change in her, that's when I was like, okay, I need to give this thing a try because I'm not happy. I want to be happy just like her. So that's what changed me. She didn't tell me to do this. She just changed on her own, and that made me curious and want to change too. So, like this, it's a softer way to bring about change through you being your own example of change.
Right.
Yeah. So, if you have a sincere desire, this is piggybacking off of what I just said, if you can feel in yourself that you have a sincere desire to save the planet, then you need to first save yourself and save human beings, not dogs, not elephants, not whales. Yes, they are very important, but us, we talk about the value of human beings
Mhm.
because only a human being has the potential and ability to save another human being. You will never hear your dog talk about soul's completion. You will
No.
never hear your cat talk about these things to upgrade your consciousness. Only another human being can share with you the principles and idea and practice of soul's completion. So, putting our bet on human beings, changing human beings through my own change, that is the only real solution that is sustainable, hopeful, and gets to the actual root of the problem. Now, all of you listening to this live, if you feel inspired, if you feel like you want to change, yes, your homework is to think about how you can become brighter, how your consciousness can become brighter. When you have some quiet time, please go and meditate and think about this deeply from your heart, from your soul's place, not from just like you're thinking, okay, how can I make myself brighter? Not like this. Really deeply, sincerely ask yourself, how can I make myself brighter? I really, really want to make my consciousness bright so that I can be an example for humanity, example for myself, somebody that I can be proud of. Asking yourself this during your meditation. That's your next mission and job. Because only you can answer this question for yourself. I can't answer it. Gabby can't answer it. Ilchi Lee can't answer it. Only you can answer the question of how can I make myself brighter? So when you have some time, please meditate on that. And also note that when you think about how can I make myself bright, you're not being selfish. So don't feel guilty. We've been conditioned to think that if I focus on me, I'm being selfish, therefore going against spiritual ascension and upgrading my consciousness. That's
Right.
not true at all.
Yeah.
You are saving yourself so that you can be a better tool, better person to save humanity. Basically, you're upgrading your engine so that you can run a bigger machine. If you have a tiny, tiny, tiny motor, you can't operate a jet plane. You have to grow your battery, grow your motor. The bigger your motor, the bigger your ship, the bigger your vessel, right? So if you want to save more people, carry more people on your back, then you need to grow your motor so that your vessel can grow. The smaller your motor, the smaller your vessel, the smaller your vessel, only a little bit of people can come in.
Right, right. You need to build like Noah's Ark.
Yes, exactly. Big Noah's Ark. So think about that. Only you have the answer to that.
So as you were speaking, people were commenting very nice things. So 444 Lamb says change starts within. Definitely. That's the whole point of today's discussion. And then Natasha says, that's inspiring. I hope my son comes around. I'm so glad I heard you say that. And I think that's when Linda was talking about your mom, how you saw your mom change and then you wanted to change. Tanmay says, Linda and Gabby both are doing great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yes, so thank you so much for your comments. So I wanted to extend this conversation. So if you're interested in joining more on this type of topic on the earth, on how to save yourself, the earth, and humanity, if you want to join on this conversation more, learn more about brain education, we are having a week-long live series tuning in from the Catskills in New York. And we'll have experiential classes, meditations, conversations about youth empowerment, sustainability and business, all stemming from and continuing the conversation of what we had today. So it's from Tuesday to Friday next week, and it's Earth Week actually. So, it's all Earth Month this month. So, and it's free, and we're just going to come to you live from New York. So I hope that you can join us if you're interested in these topics and learning more. And it's going to be at a retreat center that practices brain education and teaches brain education. So if that's something that you want to experience in person, it's a great place to be. So yes, I just wanted to mention that. And if anyone's interested, please join us next week.
Yeah, so some of the topics that we'll be discussing is Tuesday, you're going to experience a 1 hour brain education based class. So, in my 10-minute routines, I always talk about to experience a 1 hour brain education based class, please visit a local body and brain yoga studio near you. But maybe you don't live next to a body and brain yoga studio, but you want to experience a 1 hour brain education based class. Then, Tuesday on April 20th, 12 p.m. Pacific. I put in the chat. If you're international, please Google what that time translates to based on 12 p.m. Pacific time USA. And then you can join live from there. So it'll be on our main YouTube page, like how you join this live here, our main YouTube page, every single day at the same time, Tuesday, April 20th to Friday, April 23rd. Tuesday will be a 1 hour long brain education based class. Wednesday, Gabby, with her amazing meditation voice, soothing energy, comforting energy, will lead a meditation. And as she mentioned, we're currently in Honors Haven Resort in New York, in upstate New York, in the Catskills Mountains. So we will film a waterfall meditation that is right here on property, right here at the hotel, and she will guide you a meditation from the waterfall. So that's Wednesday, waterfall meditation. And then Thursday, starting from Thursday, we've invited some other brain education trainers to have a conversation with us through YouTube Live on a specific topic. So Thursday, on actual Earth Day, we're going to invite Bama Kim, who's been a brain education instructor for about like 25 years now. And we're going to talk about youth, how to empower the youth to become future leaders with this Hongik mentality that we talked about in our live. So we said we need to save the world from people, but now how can we concretely do that? By instilling Hongik, instilling these values to our younger generation. So Natasha, you said you have a son. Natasha, I think this will be perfect for you to join. And anyone else who has a child that you want to grow as a Hongik leader. So that's for Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to talk about sustainable practices in hospitality business. So Honors Haven here, this property that we're going to be going live on Earth Week, it is a model of sustainability, and we're going to show you why. The hotel has like a compost system. The hotel has these different green project initiatives that they are doing that kind of sets the map, sets a blueprint for other businesses to like copy. So we're going to feature that and talk about what this means for our Earth's future, what this means for us as humanity.
Yes.
Yeah. So if any of those topics or all of those topics interest you, please join. It's completely free. You can join from our main channel, just like how you joined this live.
Yes, so you can get more information actually on our website, braineducationtv.com/events. And you can, read more about exactly what we're going to be doing. And then also make sure to subscribe to our newsletter to put in your email for weekly emails. We send out an email every single week, and we'll have all of this information there as well that you can learn more about and tune in when you're available. So yes, thank you so much. And Natasha said, I've been looking forward to these live streams for weeks. Thank you so much. Yes, we're so excited to be streaming from there, and we hope that everyone enjoys.
Yeah, so Wow, it's exactly 10 o'clock Pacific. Look at us. We finished exactly in 1 hour. So before you guys go, thank you all so much for coming. I just want to mention one more time the super chat. If you love our content, if you want to show us some support, because yes, we would love to do everything expense free, but things cost money, videos cost money, everything costs money. So if you want to show some support for our channel, you can donate a small amount by clicking the super chat button. It's the rectangle button with a dollar sign underneath the chat line. So if you donate a small amount, we will show great appreciation to you. And if you donate over $25, we will contact you and schedule a separate one-on-one, 15-minute one-on-one session so we can connect more personally, talk about some things that are on your mind, something more specific, how we can help you based on whatever is on your mind and what you're going through. So if that entices you, I encourage you to donate to our channel, show us some love. It'll make our day. We'll feel so happy. We'll think about you when we go to sleep. We'll say thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So please donate to the super chat.
Yes. But if anyone has any final comments or questions, please leave them down below in the comment section.
Yeah, anything on your mind, anything that you want to say.
Just a lot of emojis. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in from all over. I see some from UK, India, and some people who always tune in, like Natasha. Thank you so much for coming back again. So we'll see you next week, starting Tuesday. Again, you could check out that link to get more information, put those times in your calendar, and yes, we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you all so much. Tenmei, Natasha, Veronica, 444 Lamb. Who else? Simran, Sibeliber, Curdy, Shakila, Gaz, if you're still here, Michelle, Kirti, and I'm sorry, there's Russian, I cannot read.
Yeah, me neither. I saw that one.
Aiza, and everyone else who didn't participate in the chat, but you're quietly listening from the background. We appreciate you. Thank you all so much for coming. And we will all see you next week in our Earth Week live series coming to you from the Catskills of upstate New York.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. We'll see you.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Wait, hold on. Blessed day, everyone. Don't forget your homework. That's so funny. Natasha, you're so funny.
Don't forget your how to make yourself bright, your homework.
India, 10:30 p.m. Oh, wow. Please go to sleep. Rest well. Iranian from Denmark. Great. Okay, Denmark? Denmark? Thank you. Iranian, so Hayla, that's okay. So just a funny note. I grew up with a bunch of Iranians in Los Angeles. So merci, merci. Oh, Natasha donated in the super chat. Woo! Natasha, 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 Natasha. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Merci, Sohela Jun. That's my little bit of Farsi.
Yes, so Natasha will connect with you for our.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. We'll see you next week.
Yes, see you.
Thank you.